I just want to start from the outset to say that any decision we make today may change tomorrow. In order to have the best expert advice, we have commissioned
Supercoach 360.
If the time's going up, it's recording.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, time for the show.
Oh, mate, 100%.
We need to find out why they think it's okay to say anything.
It's certainly one of the greatest challenges in the history of the game.
That's what they want to try and do. Megastar to megastar!
In this regard, we're leaving every option on the table.
Oh, what was that, buddy?
Something special.
You know what?
That's not talent.
Oh,
Supercoach 360.
The best way to handle these things is to stay measured, stay calm, live your life as normal.
Unless we start finding it off the people who actually it makes their little ordinary life feel a little bit better for that moment.
Supercoach 360 podcast.
all right. Welcome to another Tuesday in the Caravan of Courage. Supercoach is out there. Hopefully you did well last week, and you didn't captain Nath. Title of the show is obviously going to be a lot to do with Nath this week and where to go and how to get there. And a lot of people are on very, very limited trades. Is it worth holding this week? There's so many things we need to go through. We've got to touch on some head-to-head finals. We've got some write-ups from the boys this week, which will be read to you by Louie and Juzzy because they are the articulate ones. We're also going to touch on who we're going to leave out of our squads this week as pods, as it is head-to-head finals and you don't want to have the exact same team, so you want to try to look a little bit left than right.
Unless you find yourself ahead,
Yeah,
and copy the fuck out of it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, jump on exact if you can. Brad and Roscoe both done write-ups this week, so cheers again, boys. I want to touch on how I just balls up and Captain Teddy last week and how it worked out, because I was going to VC and I was going to go Nath as a captain, but I thought Teddy against the depleted Manly was a good matchup.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, wasn't so happy. I thought 71's a bit lackluster for your captain, but by the end of the Panthers game, I was cheering, high-fived myself in the lounge room, thought masterstroke, bro. That's some other things you've got to take into consideration over the next coming weeks. Is the loop really viable for you? Is it best just to balls up? I know it is a ballsy play captain in the first game or two, but sometimes I think it's just the best option. And we've got some questions, and Roscoe's done a good write-up on who we should get for Nath as well. So, boys, how's your weeks?
Yeah, not too bad. Few not so great team choices, but all in all, not too bad. Nath obviously hurt everyone, not me doubly, which was good. So,
well, not just Nath. Like, there's a lot of people out there that if they weren't podding on from Nath, they also had Mitch Moses at 7 as well as their other 7. So
at least he still scored all right.
Mitch, yeah, well, he pushed through, which was good for him. I seen he got attention early on that, so he did push through the pain barrier and finish the game, which was good signs for Para that he's not just packing his bags and going at the first sign of injury. Like, no offense, Ryan Madison. But yeah, it's also like head-to-head finals this week. You in any?
I'm in one that matters.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What have you been doing? Any homework on how to win that, or you don't want to divulge anything, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been studying our teams.
Yeah.
I got the week off this week because I was only a 10-man league, so I was only top 5.
Oh, lovely.
So I've got the minor premiership the week off, so I can just sit back. I don't even have to sell Nathan this week. I can just sit and see what they do with Nathan, and then
is that your
go
plan?
from there.
To just sit on him? And
at the moment, it is, yeah.
Cool. How many trades you got left?
Before this week, I had 5.
See, because you could really set yourself up strong if you did trade this week and next week, but like with the COVID and stuff, like it's a gamble. But yeah, you could really set yourself up nice if you do your homework.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's well done. Well, kudos to you.
So hopefully that one goes my way.
Juzzy, what about you, big fella? How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, boys. How we doing?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah, how are you, man?
I'm brilliant. Well, I mean, I had average week Supercoach-wise. Lost 9 out of my 10 head-to-head leagues. So, yeah.
But you won the one that mattered.
I did win the one that mattered.
You're in the alleged.
I am. So, I'm still in it. Who am I up against this week? I'm up against Petey this week.
Ooh,
Yeah.
the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Tough match.
Hopefully you go somewhere where there's no reception.
Yeah.
I mean, first week of head-to-head finals, I doubt it. But well, one can hope.
Pete's getting the bus up next. I'll meet you up there.
So, yeah, look, it's all or nothing this week. I'm in the bottom 8, so I've got to fight it out.
How many trades you got left, champ?
Pardon, I got 5 before I do my trades this week.
Any boost? No.
No boosts.
So you've really got to look into what you're going to do this week. Pete, as far as I can remember, I've played him. He had a pretty solid team.
Yeah.
So you've really got to look into what you can do. And does he have Nathan?
Well, I got Clem.
Everyone's got Nath.
I got Clem, who's been stood down.
Yeah.
I've got Nath. Didn't captain him last week. Went the straight captain on Teddy. Beautiful. It was actually by accident. So it turns out I hadn't reset my captain, and I meant to vice Teddy. In which case, I wouldn't have looped him. I would have thrown the C on Nath, but I didn't. So cheering. So that's actually how I won. I was up against Guy, and Guy put the captaincy on Cleary.
Oh, yeah?
Had to cop a massive 8 for his captain.
The Guidos.
Yeah, exactly. That's what got me home. So, I mean, that's what head-to-head finals is all about, isn't it? It's the first time I've been in this sort of situation, especially in a big league cash comp, big boy competition. It's been a few years now. So.
Anything can happen.
Well,
Bro,
that's it.
You don't understand. Anything can happen. Like you're in a good position.
Well, I've got a fairly different team to who I'm up against, but it's a question of, well, what do I do? Do I hold Cleary? Do I hold Clem?
Nah.
Do I pick up my centres? But then
You've got to
what am I
really
doing
look at.
there?
You probably have a look at his team and try to maybe guess what he's doing. And then you're gonna have to go from there.
Well, see, the thing is, right, I've been playing now 20 weeks, and my only thing has been sticking to my dream team, right? So I'm still on that path of sticking to my dream team. I really don't want to muck around with that too much. I don't really want to be influenced by what the other people are doing. I know I've got to watch them in the week to week with matchups. Question is, like, I'm now holding off on my trades, I think. I'm going to have to remember to do them just before games. That's going to be my goal for the finals, because I don't want to give my opponent too much notice of what I might do and what I might not. So I'll run options, screenshot them, make those moves later on.
Well, if I can just use the brains trust, you know what I mean? If I was you, I'd be in the groups over the next couple of days.
We're streaming to Facebook Live. I'm trying to use the brains trust right now. Throw in.
Show us what
you got.
Like, I'd put a post on your team and just do it up. Like, we haven't really looked at your team. We might do that during one of your readings while you're reading up Brad or Roscoe's thing. But yeah, and then we'll come back to your team. So yeah, Louis, how you doing over there, champ?
Yeah, looking pretty good. My biggest issue this week is whether to trade Cleary out. I've got one trade left. Team's in a solid position. I've got depth.
Save it.
I'm thinking about saving it in case. Well, Pat Carrigan's looks like he's going to be suspended for about 5 weeks.
Oh yeah, his season's over.
Yeah.
Do you have him too?
Sorry?
Do you have him too?
Yeah, got him. Got Clemmer as well.
Oh.
Saying that, despite that, I have enough depth to put all 4 reserves plus still some on the bench that are playing. But yeah, I'm really considering about just swapping it. I've got Hines as the other halfback. So
what that says to me, like, you've been up there all year pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I think the lowest.
The last couple of weeks.
Lowest I've got this season is where I'm at now with 5,300 and something.
So you'd have to assume there's other blokes in that exact same position you're in that have just got all those people they have to worry about this week. Next to no trades. You're lucky you've got some depth. Some people don't have the depth. So, like, if I'm you, while you've got the depth there, I hang on to that trade like it's the greatest thing on earth. Because you've still got, how many weeks of competition? 4, 5? There's a lot of weeks left, and so much can happen. And while you've still got depth, I think you just bench Nath, mate. Like, That's the best thing for you to do. Whereas if I'm in Juzzy's position, where he's not really gunning for an overall, where he's in a legitimate cash comp that it's a pretty good money one. So for him, I'd be hatching all my eggs in one basket this week. Hopefully, I know it's a bad thing to say, but hopefully there's maybe some injuries or suspensions next week that don't affect you and affect your opponents coming, and that happens a lot in this final, and resting starts soon too. So there's so much that's going to start happening over the next couple of weeks for you guys that are still in contention for cash and positions-wise, like top 1% or wherever you're going for this year. So there's a lot to look at for you fellas. Like, you not so much sitting in... You for me, you're in the best position of all the people in the same position as you. I'd be thinking to myself, well, if I have trades, if Nath and Clem and so much have gone down, like Clem will be back granted next week most likely. But there's other people like you said you've got. Who else did you have? Carrigan.
I've got Carrigan and Clem.
So if you've got that, like for me, Carrigan's probably
Moses
has to go, you know, and I'd use my trades in your position, even though I'm coming first and got the week off. If I had that sort of drama, I'd be turning over those trades and fronting my team for next week the best I possibly could.
I don't have that drama, but I only lost Cleary.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, in an unperfect world, not like yours.
I did that kind of thing last week where I just traded Clem to Husk because I could kind of thing. And it's worked out to be
masterstroke.
Beautiful in hindsight.
So all right. Do we want to jump straight in with Roscoe's team list twist, or we
might as well see where we.
I'm actually just reading
week.
through it right now. So, massive thanks to Ross Mann for doing this for us each and every week. He's got all the ins and outs for round 21. First game, Roosters Broncos. For the Roosters, Lindsay Collins out with a concussion. Matt Lodge replacing him at prop. Egan Butcher's out suspended, replaced on the bench by Tyrell May. Ben Thomas also joins the bench. For the Broncos, Paddy Carrigan is out, as we discussed. Looks like 4 to 5 weeks. Kobe Hetherington starting at lock. Selwyn Cobbo returns from HIA, replacing Deloise Hoyter. Jake Turpin replaces Corey Pakes on the Pine, and Reece Kennedy is also there.
Just with that Roosters one, what was it?
For the Roosters, Lindsay Collins is out. Matt Lodge.
That's it. I don't think Collins will be back this year, so
really,
if you do have Clemmer and you want to pot on with Lodge, it might not be bad. Well, this is his first game back from when he got knocked out pretty hectically in Origin 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah.
Origin 3 it was. This is his first game back, and this was another really bad one. And just going off how cautious the Roosters have been in the past, 2 in 2 games, both pretty hectic. I can't see him playing within the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Could be wrong, but...
Yeah, for me, I agree with that. Trent Robinson and the people at the Roosters take it really serious, the HIA thing. Like, you got to remember the Boyd Cordners and the Jake Friends, Keary, like prime examples. And like, Teddy, I think, even copped a head knock a couple of years ago.
They even showed Collins at half time, and you could still see still wasn't there, and this was 15, 20 minutes later. So, watch that one.
All right, fair enough. Did we go through Storm Titans? Yes?
Nope.
No.
We didn't get
so, Storm Titans, Tyron Wishart replaced the injured Nick Meaney at fullback. But you said odds on for Munster actually moving to fullback, and what, Meaney going into the halves, or Wishart going into the halves?
Odds on like that.
Yeah. Noffo's going to play his first game on loan to the Storm on the wing. Olam is out with COVID. Grant Anderson moves to the centres. Brandon Smith's on the bench. Chris Lewis comes on into the side off the bench. And Xavier Coates is also on the extended bench. So what would that mean there? Who's going to drop off, do you think? Or would Meaney play fullback if Coates is back?
Meaney's out with his shoulder.
Oh, that's right.
The winger, I'd say, would drop off, presumably.
All right, for the Titans, Jaden Campbell at fullback, AJ Brimson at 5'8", Tanner Boyd replaces Toby Sexton at halfback, and Greg Marju, Supercoach champion, really. When he gets the ball in hand, he makes points for himself. He's a good little get, but is he going to stay there? Manly versus the Eels. Manly, all 7 players who didn't play last week's game return to the side. Burbo replaces Schuster on the bench. For the Eels, Mitch Moses out injured. Jake Arthur coming in. I'm hearing he might be half-back for the rest of the year.
Now, can I
will
just
be.
stop you there and put a finger where you're up to? Now, Jake Arthur. Now, everyone put shit on. Now, I'm not saying Jake Arthur's a great half or anything like that, but they give him some game time early on in the year for this exact fucking moment. Now, imagine they hadn't given him any NRL experience. Teams are now on charges and shit. You sort of at least want him to have dipped his foot in the water a couple of times, like I know he had in the past, but every year we know the game changes. It's good to just have those games, and everyone questioned Brad Arthur for doing it, like even myself included, why he was moving Dill Baggs out of position while he was probably the form 5'8" at the time even, but baffled me, but it gives the kid some game experience, and it was what was needed for this exact moment.
Because he knows what's coming at him now.
Well, you know, it's not a big surprise. Or if he hadn't played an NRL game this year at all, and it's, round 20, and he's getting thrown in the deep end, imagine the criticism he's copping at the end of this weekend, you know? At least he knows what he's in for.
I don't think Parramatta fans agree with you, bud.
Oh, no, they don't. They hate it. They hate it. They probably want to see Bryce Cartwright play 6 and Bags at 7. But for me, is that the right option as well, you know? Like, there's not many options they've got. They've sunk their money elsewhere. You could probably maybe play Maddo at 6 as a defensive
it's their only
structure,
option, but they just don't like him.
Yeah,
So-
I know. The fans don't, but that's
I mean,
he's
don't get me wrong,
someone's
a lot of
kid.
pressure on this kid's shoulders, but if he can go out there and they can still stay in the race for the finals.
For me,
then-
he's just got to make his tackles and shuffle the ball on when it's necessary.
Well,
you know?
We've seen another first grade coach's son go through this exact thing over the last 2-3 years kind of thing.
Flano. Yeah.
Exactly. And now Jake Arthur's kind of stepped into Kyle Flanagan's shoes and is now taking the brunt of it.
Yeah, the difference with with Jacob Arthur, is the fact that he's been coached by his dad.
Yeah, that didn't happen for Flano.
it didn't happen for Flano.
Well, he come through at the Sharks while Flano was there, didn't he?
No, he didn't actually play a game.
Yeah, he
under
didn't.
his dad.
It
I
might have
think
been
his
going
dad
through their reserve grade, but he
his
didn't go
dad
through their
had
first
been,
grade system.
Since that scandal at the Sharks of 2000, whenever.
Well, I mean, last one to do that is Ivan. So, Ivan and Nath, obviously. South's Jed Cartwright's out injured, replaced by Tane Milne. Tom Burgess out suspended, with Mark Nichols replacing him on the bench. Blake Taff replaces Cody Nikorima as well. For the Warriors, Ewan Aitken shifts to centre to replace Adam Pompey. Chanel Harris-Tavita is out injured. Wade Egan replaces him at 5'8". Freddie Lussick starts at hooker. Aaron Penne, Bailey Siren and Jack Murchie all coming into the starting side. Josh Curran to the Pine. Jazz Tavanga's out injured. And Taniela Otakolo joins the interchange bench.
Wow.
So some mass changes for the Warriors there.
That's huge. Wade Egan playing 6.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Cameron Munster, a field day out there.
Freddie Lussick at hooker.
Yeah, it's you.
Curran as a strike weapon off the Pine. What's going on there?
Who knows?
I don't know. They don't.
Once you read out Egan at 6, I don't know what the hell's going on with that team.
For the Raiders versus the Panthers, Rapana returns from suspension, replacing Albert Hopewadi. For the Panthers, Cleary out suspended for 5 weeks, replaced by Jamin Salmon. Sean O'Sullivan moves to halfback. Critter returns from injury, replacing Robert Jennings, and Mitch Kenny is back on the bench. For the Sharks Dragons, Will Kennedy is out injured. Cade Dykes is debuting at fullback. Royce Hunt is out injured, with Braden Hamlin-Uele to start. And Braden Trindle also joins the Pine. For the Dragons, no changes. Dogs, no changes in the Dogs-Cowboys game. Kyle Felt is out injured for the Cowboys, replaced by Hamasai Tabuai-Fidow. Jake Granville joins the bench. And for the final game of the round, Tigers versus Knights, Jackson Hastings out injured, replaced at lock by Fanua Polo. And Tom Freeburn will debut off the bench. For the Knights, Braben Best returns with injury, with Anari Tuala moving to the wing. Sim Sasagi drops back to the bench, and Clemmer is being replaced by Jacob Saifidi after being stood down by the club, the coach. I'm not sure.
Right, I've just now, is that the last game?
Yeah, bro.
Just on Blake Taff. He's still I know at 10% ownership, it's not huge ownership, but I'm thinking maybe some of the top 10% might still have him because remember he nuffed himself out and everyone's just assumed he was gone. Now this could be a problem for some people with no trades as well. If you've hung on to him, he's going to be malingering around as that AE nightmare for some people. Like I know 10%'s not hugely owned, but it still could be owned. I wish we had a Druzy stat man. Be good, but yeah. Anyway, cheers Roscoe for that team list too, bro. That was awesome. Now, just quickly want to touch on just to go around the room, boys. Nofo at the Storm. Are you waiting and seeing, or is he a yes this week or a no this week? What are you shaking your head at? Okay. You can touch it if you want.
That's a soundbite you don't want getting out. I
know you're looking.
I'm definitely looking. I'm thinking, why not? Jump on. Why wouldn't you? You know he's first grade material. If the Storm want him and the Storm got him, I mean, more importantly, if the Storm got him, the Storm are going to use him. He's got to be capable because the Storm don't get people that aren't capable.
Storm bring out the best in people, and after you just read out that lineup, far out.
Against the Warriors?
Yeah, it's a pretty good matchup if he's playing for the
Like,
Storm
right?
this week.
Like,
it's good to find your feet.
Like, what's going on there? What's happened to all the structure in that team? Are they just starting to blood players for next year because they know they're out of the race? The Warriors.
I don't know what they're doing, but I'm more worried about what Nofo's doing. What's their run like, Con? Do you have it handy?
Who's that, buddy?
Storm.
The Storms. Just because I'm thinking if Nofo can, if he's outside Munster as well, that's a good wing spot to be.
Titans, Panthers, Broncos, Roosters, Eels.
See, I don't mind that with no Nathan, no Mitch Moses now. That draw has softened up for a lot of people with Panthers and Parramatta and stuff that were in it. So
yeah.
I think like there's a lot of reevaluations to be done with these specific injuries.
Panthers with 2 new halves, like that has just changed the game. Because you wouldn't have bet against them otherwise. Almost every game. You know, even though they got a tough draw.
I in my head, I think Penrith might win 1 or 2 without him.
See, yeah,
1 or 2?
1. Okay, 1.
Oh, I think they win 4, if
Who
not
they
all.
got? Who they got?
Who they got? Like, because same thing. Like, I don't think you guarantee.
They got the Raiders, they got the Storm, they got the Rabbitohs, they got the Warriors, and the Cowboys.
They might win 1.
Depending how the Storm go this week. No, they'll do the Raiders, they'll do the Rabbitohs, and they'll do the Warriors easily.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking at
if the Storm don't hit some form this week and carry it over till next week, they're a good chance of doing the Storm at the moment too. The way they're playing, their biggest challenge is the Cowboys in the last one. I think that might be away.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think the Souths are going to give us a run for their money, especially after grand final last year. I think Storm's going to give us a run for their money, especially after the grand final the year before. Like, that's it, man. Like, they're coming up against some hard teams that they've been at the pointy end of the season with a few times. They're going to want that win over them. Like, they're going to, I reckon they're going to get picked apart, man. Without that proper halves combination. I mean, I know they got some solid halves. I'm curious to see what James Salmon does.
Appy still controlling the ruck, doing what he does there. They got Yo playing that first receiver role. And then Sean O'Sullivan plays like Cleary. Yes, he's not as good, but he plays a very similar role. So he's going to roll on with what they've been doing.
Appy's a big one. Like, Appy's deception plays next level, man. You watch it sometimes, and that's it. You go to follow the ball one way, and then all of a sudden shoots out somewhere else, and you're like, "Hey, hold on." And you watch it on the replay, you're like, "That is nice." So, finally, it translating to Supercoach points.
But yeah, I just like Nofo. I'll probably wait and watch a week just to see how they use him. But if you're desperate, he could be a good pod play this week.
He's currently sitting at 2% as well.
There you go, man.
2%. God, people have actually traded him out.
He's not expensive. He's only like $4.50 or something.
$4.89.
There you go.
$4.89. Break even of 58.
This would be the big week to do it against the Titans.
Mm.
Yeah. If you're going to do it this week, because then that's when they're running to almost 4 top 6 teams. So.
Well, no, Olam So Grant Anderson's moving into the centre position. Would he be on the same side? No, because he's...
We don't know what side Nuffel's going to play.
Yeah, you don't know. We don't know the makeup of the final squad.
Because like with Olam outside him, yeah, but with Grant Anderson outside him,
I just know
him.
Storm wingers are pretty good. Like
yeah,
they're worth a shout, you know. So
as long as he can learn a few plays and start developing a combination with his half, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just needs to be able to, you know.
I think it's better at the same price, if not cheaper. Ronaldo, I reckon Talakai would be a better one to run home with. Rapana, even from the Raiders, Lomax. I'd take all of them over Noffa, even at the Storm.
Really nice. There you go.
So Tyron Wishart, you don't rate that as a pod
No.
play?
Have you seen him play?
No, I actually haven't watched.
He tries really hard, but he's not an outright fullback.
Yeah.
Or a winger, for that matter, where he has played quite a few times as well.
Yeah.
So the Storm done and dusted, boys. I mean, because the reason I ask,
no way.
The main thing we obviously are talking about tonight, Cleary. What do you do with him? Well, Hughes would have been my natural go-to. But so, you know, if the Storm are playing all off and they're not going to be scoring as many points, sort of got a fractured spine at this point. Well, do you stay away from the Storm halves? I mean, I know we've all got Munster, but Munster's one of those next-level players. Jerome's very good, but I wouldn't put him as one of those next-level players, especially not based on the current Storm form. Do you go the Broncos? Don't have a great run home.
I like the Dragons run home.
So what, you go Benny Hunt?
He's been in pretty good form this year.
I do think Benny Hunt's the pod player. He's been the game changer in pretty much any game of football he plays. Like, he was the game changer in Origin as well. Mean 40-20 out of dummy half.
Even if Sean O'Sullivan can get the kicking duties over Stephen Crichton, I wouldn't mind a straight swap from Nathan straight to Sean O'Sullivan.
Yeah, well, that is one of Brad's pod plays this week. He was saying, you know, looking at what he did last week, now being the main half, could be a bit of a pod play. But, boys, I've only got one league that matters. Do I risk it on a pod play on Sean O'Sullivan? I mean, do I bring him into the team and maybe not play him this week and just watch him? I thought
you were trying to keep your team secret.
But, well, no, I'm just putting up the hypothetical. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm genuinely asking the question. I got told to use the brain's trust. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Personally, I like what you said.
If I had to go all or nothing this week, Adam Dewey's my man against the Knights.
And that's one of the options I'm weighing up. Like, I mean, he came out of the blocks last week. Now they've lost Hastings.
Well, I just remember last year when Dewey had, I think there was no Brooks in the side. They did have Harry Grant.
I think Brooks might have been there, but Dewey just took it upon himself to just...
And then got moved to centre where he was in the wasteland. It was just totally stupid, and I think that took away from Dewey a lot, and then he got hurt, and then here we are. But Dewey, last week, shows if he's got total control of a team, then he's a very busy man. Like, he's involved in a lot.
Yeah, well, just the amount of times he takes on the line within the side of 10, his chances of going through are good compared to other halves who take him on once or twice per game. He takes him on at least 5, 6, 7 times.
He's a big dude too. Like, and
he loves to run.
Yeah.
And he's good at running.
Yeah.
And we suck.
And he kicks goals.
He does kick goals. Could kick 1,000 against us.
And the Tigers have turned it around the last couple of weeks.
Well, that's what I mean. Just Hastings going down for them with the hip drop from Carrigan. I think this is a broken leg or a broken ankle we're talking about. I'm not entirely sure.
I think. Ankle, is it?
So, I mean, that's pretty significant. Jackson Hastings has been, you know, he's been the man for him this year. We were talking about, you know, sort of club-changing players. And, I mean, for the Tigers, Jackson Hastings has been that player this year.
No offence to Jackson Hastings. It's supposedly, like, because I've never actually been in a dressing room with his teammates or anything like that, but supposedly it's Jackson Hastings that brings his shit on himself too. Like, people don't like him because of who he is.
Well, I mean, I was just saying how I think he's turned that club around. So I think the boys down there like him.
He did come out there and say that, and he's trying to work on that. He does own that. He knows that about himself.
That's it. Maybe that's his past. But, I mean, for me this season, watching not knowing the bloke, I don't think he's helping turn those Tigers around.
In saying that, they've still only won 3 games.
But, but just seeing the effort out there from him. And, look, Luke Brooks, for me, Luke Brooks played the majority of those games. Like, so
Well,
let's see what he's like.
Shambles.
I would have been curious to
Anyway,
see what he's like
let's-
without Luke Brooks there.
Yeah, let's talk Supercoach relevant.
Right, okay.
I'm just going to quickly butt in there. Pat
Okay.
Carrigan, 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Just come through, 4 weeks.
Really?
Official.
Early guilty.
So that takes him to the end of head-to-head finals, but he's there for the final round of overall.
Yeah.
So
Now, Louis, I understand you've got a Brad's something from Brad. Brad's busy life and on. Well done, Brad. He's doing actual stuff out there in the real world. Not. So Louis going to do his bit. Louis,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Yeah, I got a Brad's round 20 recap for you. Again, thanks to Brad Smith for this. First game, Seagulls Roosters. Roosters only winning 20-10, which is kind of disappointing, really, considering the team they're coming up against. Tedesco was the most popular captain pick of the round and got a respectable 72, which ultimately turned out great, especially with Cleary. Manu just proved it doesn't matter where he plays, he can still turn it on with 101 points. Tupu would have been a nice pickup after he got a 71. Sam Walker got 59 and starting to look relevant, while Crichton was back to his seesawing self with a quiet 44. For Manly, a number of debuting players went well, with Smalley being the best with 66, while Davey top scored with a 71. Cherry Evans getting a 46 and Garrick 47. Both scored low, but with more attacking scores, they will bounce back. Big watch here, Zach Fulton got 22 limited minutes, only playing Jersey Flegg previously. So Brad's saying put him on the Little Black Book for next year.
Heavily agree with that.
What did you guys think of that game?
They put some pride into the jersey.
Well, I didn't watch the game, but from all accounts, the Manly team did. They came out and they fought pretty hard.
No, they did. They done well. They done themselves proud, the boys that played the game.
You were talking about Smalley, maybe putting him in your Little Black Book?
Yeah, I did, because I just like the way he brought it back. Runs back with a bit of vigour. Very much you-like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a Supercoach friendly game.
Moving on to the next game. Panthers losing to the Eels 34-20.
Let's not talk about it. On to the next game. No.
Now let's slow down and let's take a lots of time on this one.
Can I just stop you before you
it's
go?
Panthers, I'll talk on it for 20 minutes, bro. Don't.
Hopefully Brad touches on this. Let's just see if it's in there. See if the great minds think alike. But for me, that showed zero resilience from Parramatta. Like, they didn't come out and score a point in the second half, did they?
They scored 4 at the end.
By rights, they should have absolutely thumped them. And they took the foot off for me. They didn't drive the dagger home, and they should have really put on a number on the Penrith Panthers that night and didn't.
Yeah, you're right, 100%. I thought we were going 50 odd at half time.
That's Parramatta.
That's it, the mentality thing.
Yeah, sweet. So, Brad says, with Moses suffering a broken finger, and of course, Cleary's stupid brain snap, O'Sullivan looms as a real pod, putting up 34 points, and he does have a big score in him. So don't rule him out. Think about that. Martin was at their best with 82, closely followed by Targo with 71. Owners of May, who scored 36, and To'o only 43, will be hoping they'll be better in the coming weeks. Papali'i cracked 100 again with 101, solid as ever. Moni had one of his best games with a 93, and Lane with an 83 keeps rewarding owners along with Sivo 77. Madison got a respectable 69, and you'll think that another monster score isn't too far away, as ever with Maddo. Next up, Storm and Warriors. Kafusi topped out with 96, while Hughes got a 77. Not as many monster scores as we were hoping for in that game, that's for sure. Hughes does loom as a good Cleary option as well. I believe he's actually I think he's the most traded in halfback in replacement to Cleary at the moment, last time I saw. Munster got a 74, while Grants is still yet to hit his straps with 57. Also, the Warriors, Kossi was their best with 114 off 3 tries. And Tohu Harris, ever consistent, 66. You know what you're going to get out of him. Raiders and Titans.
The worst thing about Harry's relatively low scores lately is he's had 2 tries in them too, so it is very concerning for myself as a Harry owner.
Well, I've hung on to Rubes. So if Harry does seem to dip, especially with B. Smith back this week, I'll copy him as an A.
I'm kind of hoping they go back to the last year model of start B. Smith for 2025. Inject Harry and
take the punch out.
Hopefully run right.
But that, you know what, it worked. It worked very well for him. Brendan Smith does a great job for that first 20 minutes of just doing bulldozer stuff, you know. Very different hooker.
Yeah. Good. Harry Grant will come off the bench as soon as those forwards start to tire. Bellamy would inject him on, and they'll go straight through him. Just tear him up and through the middle.
In saying that, if he wants to be the elite number 9, he has to get ready to play 80 minutes.
Does he? Look what he does for Queensland.
Yeah, still, it's a trade you don't. It's a substitution you don't want to make.
Maybe the way the game's going now, with the pace of it, 80-minute hook is a thing of the past.
I don't know.
Like, we can't all be 80-minute Cameron Smiths.
It is, you know what, you know yourself, man. It's a beast of a job to stay in the middle, tackle them big men when you're not a big man like that. Like, it's a big effort to do it for 80 minutes, and then you've got to have still the energy to get up, get the ball going. Like, it's up to you to build the momentum from the start.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot riding on being a good hooker, and yeah, 80-minute hooker's fucking gold.
Continuing on. Next one. So Raiders and Titans. Raiders getting up over Titans 36-24. Pressure mounting on Titans coach Holbrook after yet another loss at home. For the Raiders, Hudson Young did really well. Top scored with 114. Tarpany proved again why he's really the game's premier front row forward with 166 run meters. 7 tackle busts, 4 offloads, a line break, and a try. I'll tell you, that guy's... The second half of the season, I have to say, he's really stepped up. He's really gone gangbusters. Anyone that's been on him for this second half of the season, kudos to you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's weapon, eh?
Absolute weapon.
Absolutely.
Adam Elliot... keeping his PPM up there with 60 off 42 minutes. Again, I think Brad Smith mentioned that also last week, I'm pretty sure. So, again, Brad Smith knocking it on the head.
Right, even Dearden, again, turned it on last. I don't know what he scored, but scored well.
72, I think.
Yeah, like
something like that.
You know, and which has been not too bad, considering. So... He's pointing out some real good ones to us this year, Brad. So thanks for that, bro. Champion.
Yep.
The backs of Raiders did okay with Sebastian Chris scoring a 91, Nick Kotrick getting 90. Both are showing pretty good form. Not to say much about the Titans with Big Tino scoring an 88.
Whiten with an 88.
Whiten with an 88 as well. Guess going along with what you've been saying, Con, recently. Tino topping the scoring, and as does almost every week with the Titans, especially with the lack of tries that they've been scoring as of late.
And after the Storm this week, they got the Manly, Dragons, Knights, Warriors. So Tino could be a nice little run home with kind of guy.
What's he on now at the moment?
Con will have it.
He's 566,000 in 18% of teams, 26,000 teams, and he has a break even of 42.
Yeah, so he's making cash. This would be the week to jump on, definitely.
Definitely.
Another option there if you want to think about it, guys. And also Tanner Boyd scoring at 85, proving he's another player that's on the up and up with another strong showing.
Yeah.
And of course, I myself have to count for this one. A David Fafita owner. 45.
Yeah, I brought him in.
No, he went up 49.
49. Oh, 49. There you go. 49. Still
much better.
doesn't really make it any better.
Can have them 4 points.
I'm benching him this week against the Storm.
Fair enough.
I can't bench
wouldn't blame
him.
you.
He's that guy. He could score 150 anytime he wants to just run the fucking ball. Yeah, well, that's it. You can afford it. But in saying that, you still want to get the best points you can, and you just believe he's not going to go well again.
I believe I've got at least 17 other players that will outscore him this week.
Yep, that's fair. What were you going to say, big fella?
Well, I mean, like the Storm can tire out your team. So it could be one of those weeks where there's just no one at dummy half.
Hang on, wait. Nah. Sorry, Captain Davey this week. But he's been moved back to the left now. And the Storm have been letting in all those tries down the right-hand side. Edward Cossey got a hat-trick down there last week.
Davy's back to the side.
He's captain.
Davy's
He's moved
back
straight back in.
Captain Dave. Flat out balls enough, or just going to balls up and do it? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Just
Yeah,
balls
fuck
up and do it, bro.
Well, I mean, with David Feeder going to the left side, that means Sexton's just going to be chucking the ball back to the right now.
Yeah, they did it
Sexton's
last
out of the side.
Oh, he's out?
Yeah, Tanner Boyd's replacing him.
Oh,
and AJ's moved to 5'8" because Jaden Campbell's a fullback. So
that's right. Sexton's rested in inverted quotes.
Yeah, that's it, pretty much.
Right.
If Titans can go out there and do something this week, and their attack looks good, Sexton's fucking gone. He's had his chance.
I don't know if he's had his chance. They put a lot of eggs in that basket.
he's only had about 18 weeks this year.
I mean, that's a decent chance, right? Like to, I think the only time the Titans have looked decent is when Sexton was out, injured or suspended earlier in the year.
Have you got more right-up over there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
So hopping on. Next game. Sharks and Souths. Sharks obviously getting the Golden Point win, 21-20.
Rough. It was a good game of footy.
Oh, it was great to watch, I have to admit. Even as a Souths fan, you have to admit it was a great game of footy to watch. Latrell might need to practice his field goals, that's for sure. I think three attempts, I'm pretty sure that he one close, but two that went 10 metres wide.
I can guarantee you next game you give Latrell 3 attempts from outside 40 and he'll nail 2 out of 3 of them.
I mean, like Dewey used to be their go-to, not Dewey, A-Ray used to be their O2 guy, the go-to guy for that sort of stuff, and he could nail it every time, so you'd be crazy not to. Whereas, like, that's it. Who's their guy? It's probably not Ilias.
Well,
it's got to be Trell.
We've seen Trell do it in the past. You know what I mean? It's not like was his first crack. I've seen him.
Well, he did it at State of Origin as well, didn't he? Didn't he?
Yeah, he did a couple of years.
Popped the long one in
He's
State of Origin a few
going to
years
have to
ago.
start practicing a bit more.
And he done
under
one.
pressure.
I remember one he done for the Roosters too, years ago. Yeah. It was good. It was from 40 out too.
Just within 40, Cronk stood there as a decoy call on the
that's
board,
right.
and they threw it out the back to Latrell, and he
pumped it.
Smoked it.
Yeah, it was a big kick.
So the best of the Sharks, McInnes getting an 85, despite getting ripped off a try assist. Hines was next best with a 74. I stupidly put the R on. Who did I put it on? Pat Carrigan. Yeah, that back.
What did he score?
40.
Yeah, you got me.
40?
I put it on Hoyter against the Tigers, thinking, oh yes, here we go. They're heartbroken after what happened last week. They're not going to turn up again.
Yeah. So Hines got a 74, solid as usual. Scores for the Sharks dropped a bit away, but with Andrew Fafita winding back the clock, scoring a 60. South Totola has been massive, and I have to say it as a South fan, he's probably been one of the unsung heroes for South in the forward pack.
He has been for about 3 or 4 years now.
He's one of the most underrated forwards, I reckon. One of the most underrated.
In saying that, Supercoach wise, I don't know if he's the guy. You know what I mean? But for Souths, he definitely does great work. Like, fantastic forward.
Yeah, I have to
Tom
say,
Burgess was near best on ground for you the other day.
I have to say, and Tom Burgess and Totola, the whole season, the whole the whole past couple of years, they've been really stepping up. Tom especially, the post contact meters that he's able to get, and just
Well, he's finally using that massive frame of him to his advantage.
And he's busted the line as well. There's a few times he's busted. He's got a little sidestep just before he hits the line, and like I'm pretty sure against the Sharks, he got a line break against the Shark, busted through the line. When the forwards start to tie, and he's that little step.
Yeah, well, it was through. When the games were
I think
equal,
time,
and he went through, and
Latrell.
the fullback stopped him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he does. He's gotten better with age, Tom, because he was like not as bad as Luke. Like Luke was always
but he was worse than Sam and George.
Yeah, Georgie went on that run. He had that 1 year where
Grand
he was
final.
just
Grand final 2014. Yeah.
Rick Tear busted, mate. That was his best year of football.
I think the best thing
now in rehab.
I think the best thing for Tom that South did was get rid of George, because getting rid of George ever since then, it's almost like it's given him the opportunity
to be himself.
Yeah. And he's done great. He's gone gangbusters. Anyway, back to Brad's article. So South Totola got a 99. Murray scoring an 83. As we all know, he's capable of pulling that out every single week. And Cook getting a 74. Walker not quite going huge with a 55. And Latrell had a bit of a quiet game with 52. So, yeah, Walker, is that an option possibly to bring in Cleary, boys?
Not for me. Not for me. I wouldn't do it. Would you do it?
Nah, but I've been anti-Walker all year, and I'm going to stick to it.
Yeah, they're just not the same team without A-Ray in it. It takes away from his game heaps, massively. So,
yeah, and with the few games that they've got left, I'll be steering away as well. Tigers Broncos. Now this was a bit of an upset. Tigers getting the win, 32-18.
Well, I passed out at half-time. And I thought, yep, Katoni's in for a big one, and fucking Mam's already scored a try. Passed out, woke up, whooped. Couldn't believe it.
I completely missed the game. I was out at the time, and then next thing you know, I flicked on the Facebook. 32-18? The hell? Double check this, yeah. So
good on the Tigers, mate. They owed it to their supporters.
Well, especially after that, the finish in Townsville. That controversial field.
Not done with yet. They want to take it to court.
I saw that, yeah.
Just get it. It's a fucking different week now, guys. Get over it. Like, I know they don't want a wooden spoon, but sorry, it's finished, mate. Well, fucking.
Actually, I'm sort of with them, and I'm interested to see how this case pans out, because if they can reverse competition points on a legal basis, then it sets an interesting precedent.
Then the way the court system works, we're not going to have our ladder decided until fucking August of 2025 for this year's final series, bro. Like, come on, let's they're
pleading their case to the NRL. The NRL would want to keep this in-house and have their commission decide on a legal basis. I'm curious to see
if it's going to the NRL commission, we might as well just not even bother, because they're not going to fucking put that shit through. It's never, ever, 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 ever going to happen. Ever.
You know what? It's one of them things, mate. It's finished and it's done with the next day. Like, you got to cop your medicine. That's just how it is.
And look, I'm sure for the players it is, but that's what I mean. This is setting an interesting precedent for clubs being able to do this. So that's where I'm curious to see what happens and how they go about this. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with what they're doing. I do feel they were robbed, but if they can actually go back and challenge the 2 competition points and somehow get them back because of a wrong decision, that sets a dangerous precedent for in the future. Because you always find stuff after the game, man. People scrutinise video. People find all sorts of stuff after the game.
It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. It's not happening. fucking sport, mate. Get out of court.
But, well, that's
Get
it.
out of
There's so much
politics.
money involved
Get
in
out
it,
of your
especially
shit.
through gambling. That's why, like, I mean, that's the implications of this. The bets are, what do the bookies do? Go, oh,
They
well,
have to double pay.
yeah.
No way.
Why?
No way.
Those original
Tigers
bets
lost,
to be
bro.
avoided. Yeah.
Not according to the court. Not a court of Australia. Fucking bang. Sports bets doubling out. Watch them take someone to court next. It's a never-ending cycle.
Anyway,
There you go.
let's move on.
Getting tapped on the head right there. Okay.
Retard Tigers.
Have you got more?
Got a few more.
Okay.
A few more. Won't be long.
No, no worries. It's
next
from
one.
grab, mate. It's good.
Adam Dewey scoring a big 122. Option with Jules. Why Jules? What do you boys reckon? It's tempting.
Looking.
Well, yeah,
tempting.
but like I said, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know last year he was the dominant half in that respect, and he didn't have Hastings. But I think Hastings out is going to be a big out for the rest of the boys, and I don't know. Well, okay, look, so here's my when it boils down to it, and I'm sorry, Tigers fans, but I just have no belief in them. I just can't have any faith in them.
I'm getting him at centre, so I'm cheering.
Well, see, at centre, I would take the gamble. He's not that pricey. See, 600 for a centre. You want to make sure you're getting your money's worth. Is he going to pull it at 30? I mean,
I don't think so.
I suppose the centre could do that anyway. Goal kicking, decent run home, considering. And if they haven't given up, then yeah, I suppose. I mean, look, I'm looking to take that leap this week.
Yeah, and also guy from the next game, Burton from the Bulldogs. Even though he scored a 45 this round, he's an option. He's an option. He's been scoring points.
Yeah, I mean, taking a risk on the joggies. In one of those key positions.
Birdo does his own work.
Would either of you guys do it? Would either of you guys consider Birdo?
I like the way the Bulldogs been playing footy lately. I like the combination Birdo and Fox have got. But it'd be a massive gamble.
Yeah. It is a massive gamble.
They got the Cowboys, Warriors, Eels, Sharks, Manly.
Well, I feel only tough games there are the Cows and the Sharks. Eels are depleted. Yeah.
Depends what Eels turn up. Even without Mitchell Mays, if their forwards turn up, they can still roll through anyone. But
Yeah,
it's a big ask.
Moving on, Marshall King, almost pod hooker of the year with another 70 points again. He's been a good pickup for anyone that had him, really.
I drafted him in a few drafts. Con speared us in early at the start of the year. He said Marshall King was up for a big year, and you were right. It's one of them ones that got away.
Yeah, straight up. I'm spewing it in game at the start of the year.
his hooker rank for the year is second.
Yep.
And last game, Cowboys-Dragons. Cowboys winning 34-8. DeBellin was the Dragons' best, but otherwise it was pretty much downhill. Nanai, again, busting out a massive score, 158. Next year looks pretty juicy. It'd be picked in a lot of first-team sides next year, that's for sure, I feel.
Yeah, you boys jumping on Nanai, start next season?
Don't know about the start. He'll be top dollar. There's a couple other ones I've been looking at for next year. Hopefully.
Well, you already got a little black book going.
Yeah, just because I'm so shit this year, I've got to do something. So I didn't do enough homework. I focused on racing and cricket too much in the off season, and this year I'm fucking not doing either. I'm going to just focus on doing some other shit and be fresh for footy like next year, because not having a break really took its toll on me, I think, like mentally, and so I tell the other boys too, like, gonna have like a bit of a breather in there.
That's it. Off seasons are important for a reason.
If his average can stay under that 70 or around that 70, I'll definitely be starting with him next year.
Yeah.
He's just a try scoring freak.
That's it. He's just one of those beast mode back rowers.
I think he's second behind only AJ in try scoring list this year.
Yeah.
And he's only played 16 games.
Well, he broke old mate's record, Gavin Cooper's record for most tries for second rower up there, which was I think it might even have been most tries for a second rower, like total for a year?
No, the record is Steve Menzies
I
with
was gonna
22.
say,
Oh, there you go.
Steve Menzies
Beeve.
with 22, but I mean, you still got 5 games in hand.
But I'd like
Definitely could do it.
I'd like someone to go back and look at that and see how many games Bieber
He's
played
in
centre.
centre. Yeah. Did play a lot of centre in his glory day.
And then Drinkwater redeeming himself with 106 after a couple of disappointing weeks.
Yeah,
Val-
I got off Drinky. Should I have remorse, boys?
Yeah.
You
Little
reckon?
bit. Where'd you go with it?
Teddy.
Yeah.
Look, to be honest, no and yes. Like they do have, we did say they have a good run, but
If you didn't sell him, you would have captain Cleary.
Yeah, I doubt I would have held out for a captaincy on Drinky, not after 2 bad weeks.
so
So, yeah, like,
sort of one of them
Got
things.
to look at the silver linings.
I'm seriously looking at bringing Drinky back in. I mean, it's
Well, it's that, you know what?
yeah, I mean, like if he's going to pull out scores like that, maybe I do have to have him.
Well, you
But
got to
you know
look.
what?
Does Pete have him?
Pardon?
You know, and does
Well,
Pete
that's-
have him? That's something that, like, I just want to break you off your dream team for a minute there.
Yeah, I was about to say that's an interesting point. Like, how
Um,
much do I actually have to analyse
I'd be
my
having
opponent's team?
I'd
and
be having a good, especially for the money involved. And sorry, Pete, because you're my mate too. Like, but
No,
we're
this is
helping.
just
Yeah,
advice for
this is just
everyone.
advice for everyone involved with it. I think you go and have a look at your opponent's team. Look at, anticipate that they have trades. Even anticipate that they have a boost. I'd be trying to think that in the back of my head. Maybe they have a boost. What could they do? What can I do to maybe strengthen my team against what I'm dealing with now?
I wouldn't do that.
You wait till
That's
game
just-
day.
Yeah, that's just a whole lot of if buts maybes for 4 days.
But he
doing
could be
your
doing
fucking
the
head
same.
in,
I'd
and
be
then you
doing.
get that day and he's just gone completely left of centre and you just gone, oh shit, okay, well, let's reassess.
Well, even he could be doing the same thing you're doing and just wait until
Well, I'd wait
the
till
right time to
Thursday.
do trades.
Yeah, I'd wait till Thursday, see what he's done, see what the opposition person's done, see where we're sitting.
Is
Maybe
Mi-
let Thursday play out, see where we're going after that, and then maybe assess if I need to trade, where I might need to trade.
Is Mitch King playing? Max King, sorry.
Yeah, he should be. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's got Cleary, Clemmer, and Hastings. So
So yeah, like that.
we don't have many players in common whatsoever, actually. Like 5 players in common.
Which see, that's a good matchup. It can
Like-
go either way. That. It's a hard matchups. Them ones where you've only got like 5 that separate you, or 4 that separate you. If you've got a good matchup like that, you could even maybe look into a pod captain too, Juzzy, this week.
Yeah.
You
He's
got
gonna have
any
to
more
play.
from Brad over there?
Brad just finishes with his team hit a few hurdles after captaining Cleary, but hey, that's Supercoach. A lot of people would have been in the same boat. And good luck for everyone getting their Cleary replacement. For what it's worth, he's going Adam Dewey.
Yeah, I like it, Ray.
Yeah. Again, big shout out to Brado. Absolute legend. Deliver week to week. Legend.
So yeah, like they're the things you're gonna have to think about too, Juzzy. Like maybe you don't have to trade out Cleary this week. Especially, have you got funds? Are you flush?
No, look, I haven't really found many players that I can't get to. There's a few that are out of reach, like Manu and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not finding a heaps of funds. I'm just, yeah, trying to get back to the dream team. And as I scroll through it, it's like, all right,
Well, your dream
my
teams,
centers is where I'm lacking.
your dream teams automatically
See,
changed again because
Juzzy-
there's no.
Juzzy's biggest problem is he's got Trell and Teddy locked in at that fullback spot. A lot of people have still got Hines running in that fullback spot at the moment.
Yeah.
So with Nathan being out now, Juzzy's limited to the 5'8" halfback position, where a lot of other people with Hines at the fullback spot and Mam or something at the 5'8", they can pretty much trade Cleary out for any position in their team.
Yeah.
With the right duels.
I mean, I can too, because if I want, I can trade.
But you have
one of
to
those
trade
two
Cleary out, get a halfback 5'8" in, and then use another trade to...
Not necessarily, because I can just put Hines as my starting halfback. I'm confident doing that. But it's a question of who.
Cleary.
I don't. No. Trade Cleary out and just put Hines as my reserve. Put Hines in there, and then I can move Mam up to halfback, and then I can start playing around. I reckon I could get to almost any position in my team through duels.
And then who can you bring up to 5'8"?
Well, otherwise I'll trade in someone that makes that possible, and then I'll use the second trade I've got this round to do what I've got to do.
That's what I mean. You have to use two trades to do it, where people with the Hines at fullback don't. They can access pretty much their whole team with the right duels.
I mean, yeah, well, provided they're trading in a fullback. But
Like, I can go from Cleary to 5'8", fullback, centre wing, second row, front row.
Who's the player that I want that I don't have? You know what I mean? Tarpany, but I could always do that trade through Clemmer instead. Tarpany's one of those players that I'm looking at that it's just like, yeah, I wish I had him.
Still got the duel, doesn't he? Got a duel Tarpany as well, I'm pretty sure. So that makes him very juicy for me anyway, because, yeah.
But then who else am I actually looking at? Because, I mean, that's been my thing. If anything, my centres are too weak, and I feel like anyone who I'm looking at needs to be in that available in that centre wing. Like Garrick's possibility, he's one of the ones that are out of reach. Manu's but one of the ones that are out of reach.
Yeah, I think you'll have to give up on Joey.
Yeah, well, we've got clear replacements coming up, so...
Yeah, do we have them from Roscoe? We didn't get them from Roscoe.
No.
No. We'll find something. Okay, who can we leave out this week as the pod guys? Like, if you're in a situation not like Juzzy where your head to head is more similar than Juzzy's and Pete's. So
well, let's just circle back to where you were with DF. Is DF a genuine leave out this week?
No.
Not now.
No, like that's it. You're looking at Melbourne and you're going, no, I wouldn't leave him out this week. You'd be getting on.
I think the Panthers outside backs you could
Tongo or
possibly
May?
leave out this week.
If I had to pick one, because if I've got both, I could probably only afford to pick one.
They're playing the Warriors too, are they? You're playing the Warriors, aren't you?
Are we? Well,
not 100%.
You're playing Canberra.
Yeah, Raiders. Sounds about right.
So I'm not playing May or Tungo this week, personally.
I'll play Tongo, but I don't think I'll play May. But also on the Panthers and that left-hand side, kick out. Would you play kick out this week? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that.
If you own him, you sort of hope that he takes a bit of an onus on having more hit-ups and stuff like that. But will he, is the question. Like, if and when he does, he's a beast. But
I feel like if he's going to be the hit-up machine, that's less chance of him scoring the tries. He's got to be able to get those. He'll run a bunch of lines.
Well, for me, if he's busy early, then he automatically puts the defence in mindset that he's running the ball. So
he'll be all right.
That frees up Otago and May a little bit.
But will he get that try, or will he get the offload and Tungo or someone's going to get that try?
Well, if I could predict that, buddy, I'd be rich as fuck.
Thanks for asking,
But no, well, that's the question now. Without that halves combination, who are going to be their go-to?
I think.
Well, it's going to be a wait and see.
Are they going to go to more structure? Like O'Sullivan's got that kicking game. He can still do pinpoint kicks.
It's going to be a wait and see. We're not going to know. I think they're going to play very much the exact same football that they've been playing.
I think you've missed your golden opportunity to get in your Penrith development squad speech about these blokes will come through, do a job, and everyone around them will pick up the slack a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm hoping. But the thing is, like, in a Supercoach sense, I'm heavily vested in the Panthers. I had Cleary. I didn't have Luai, but him being gone, being the other experienced half out there, I mean, it could be a blessing in disguise at this point. I think O'Sullivan's got serious skills, and we'll see him at the Dolphins next year. I think that's going to be very interesting. This is his chance, really, to just start gaining some experience before then.
I'll also leave out Cotter
this week
on the bench.
Has scored 60s off the bench in the past.
Yeah, I still think he's back.
Yep.
And Mam against Roosters.
Yeah.
Well, is it time if you own Mam? Is it time to upgrade Mam to
if Cleary didn't get hurt? Absolutely.
A Dewey or something like that? Yeah.
There might be other priorities at the moment.
Yeah, but so you'd rather keep him making sure that he's at least chugging along at 50 or whatever.
Is he going to become an AE nightmare?
I don't think AE's...
I mean, I think he seems all right for an AE.
If you're going to put out 42s...
with a try.
Because, I mean, that's one of the other things I am considering. Is like, all right, my plan before Cleary got injured was definitely like, all right, Mam's looking juicy. Am I holding on or am I trying to upgrade, to a premium in that position? Do I really want someone that's going to score, big points in that 5/8 and be able to run those 4 halves either interchangeably or all in a round? Just bang, 3 of my reserves are written off as 2 halves and a fullback, but I can do that.
Yeah.
So do I juice him? Maybe, and then, okay, let me put it this way. Well, do you have any more players that you'd leave out?
Do you?
I was thinking like May would definitely be a leave out for me this week. Just after what I seen last week, I know they played a man down for most of the game, but for me, he looks a bit out of whack. And without tries, he's not putting up anything decent. And I don't know. Oh, look, I'm going to play Ola Kawatu if he's named. I'm pretty sure he is, but
Yeah, he is. I've put him straight back in my starting side. I think the week off will have done him some good.
yeah, so do I. So I have people who hope they didn't regretfully sail on Ola Kawatu last week. But Ruben Garrick for me, he could be one of the ones you sit.
Well, yeah, he's one of the ones that's just out of reach for me, so I'm hoping...
Like, I know he scored a 40-odd, 47 last week, but they just... I don't know, man. He just didn't look right. He looked a bit still lame from that hip thing for me, and I don't know, I'm a bit worried as an owner for him. I probably will play him because I've just looked at their matchup. It's Para with no Moses, but like you said, if their forwards turn up, they could easily just smash them.
What you got there, buddy?
What else do I got?
Well, no, I know exactly what we want to talk about, boys, and that's, what do you do with Cleary? Okay, so let's run through
Did you
this.
find it?
Right, well, I've got a list of replacements here that I think are good options, personally, but at halfback, I got Hughes and Hunt, or Hines if you don't have him, or you got him at fullback and you want to...
All right, so that's it. I was going to say let's do it by position, so that's good.
And then
Hold on, wait. Quick question for you while we're in the halves. Why not DCE?
Just from the stories going around about them being fractured now with all this stuff that happened last week, apparently they've kind of come to a truce kind of thing, but apparently shit's really icy there and they're not all
Playing group.
friendly, so...
Yeah.
If that puts them off a little bit, it could affect DC and the whole team. So
I mean, if anything's going to bring them back together, it'll be getting out there and playing footy.
it could galvanise them,
Yeah.
or it could separate them. So it's wait and see for me with DC with that situation going on. And 5'8", I've got Brown, Dewey, and Jack Whiten, and Drinkwater.
So no Birdo.
Not for me.
Don't believe he's worth the risk. Why, it doesn't have the ceiling, or Bulldogs don't have the hopes for the finals?
Well, apart from Dewey, these teams are in finals contention.
Yeah, so you think they're still fighting?
And Dewey's he's just got that X factor for me that I like, and he's available at centre and 5'8", so I like that too. I'd prefer to get him at centre than 5'8", but...
So then who would you put in, like if you do that?
I'd go Brown, Drinkwater, or Brown, Whiten, probably.
Yeah, to go alongside Munster, or are you offloading Munster at this point?
No, I'm keeping Munster. No way.
Yeah, Munster's Munster.
No way.
All right.
Sorry, I should have put Munster on the list, but I'm just...
Yeah,
assuming
well, I mean,
everyone
you
should
take
have
it as a given, but, I mean, with Melbourne not setting the world on fire, then, some of his scores, they've been lagging a little
He's
bit.
still only in 38% of teams, Munster.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, Cleary's in 44, so really, what you're going to do with him is massive, and it's definitely affected my plans. I mean, you keep a couple of trades out there for injuries, and you know that. But this one, well, I don't know, you didn't see Nath getting suspended.
No. And then fullback, I've got Teddy Tyrell. That's the 2 genuine fullbacks there. And then, obviously, you've got your Manus, Garricks, Valentine Holmes, etc. as all centre wing fullbacks who you could also put there if you didn't want to go with the Tyrell-Teddy combination.
Yeah.
Or you wanted to leave Hines there or whatever. You wanted to move Val there and get a centre. Well, I don't know. And then the centre wings, I got Val, obviously Manu. I like Ronaldo. I like Lomax. I'll put an offer on there for you, buddy. And I like Rapana too. It'd be big balls up play in a gamble, but we've seen his runs. And then pretty much any second row, gun second row or front rower that you can get your hands on that you want. You don't have like your Cameron Murrays or whatever like that.
Yeah, well, Rossman's listed Tarpany and Nanai as his. Yeah.
Yeah. That's two he's put in there.
Well, even like I've seen people lately that don't have IPAP and stuff like that. So even if you want to get those IPAPs and things in, now's the time maybe.
Yeah. Well, Tarpany's gone next level this year. He took his game to the next level.
Since
to the
midway
front row.
point, he hasn't gone under 73 since like around 12 or 11 or something.
That's two stats you were showing me before. Eh? Oh, they were Marshall King. Yeah. Marshall King hasn't gone under what?
One under 40 since round 11.
Who was the other player?
Tarpany.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Nanai's a good get, especially with the form they're in. So for me, he's not because I've already got Fafita and I've got Angus Crichton and I've got Ola Kawatu who are already relying on the attack and stat like Nanai. So if they all have a shit week, I'm fucked even more than I am now.
No swearing, Berks.
Sorry, I done okay up until that point.
All technical difficulties, yeah.
Surely it's late enough now.
Do you guys have anyone else?
I mean, you guys are the brain trust. I'm asking you, Louis.
DCE.
You're on Cherry? You're on the Ches?
It's an option I'm thinking about.
Why? Talk us through it. Cons against it. So I'm curious to know why you're for it.
I think with Manly getting back, the players are going to get back. They're going to want to get. I think they're sitting, 9th or 10th at the moment. I'm pretty sure, just out of the top 8. They're going to want to get in that top 8, and DCE and Garrick as well are going to be vital to that. I think DCE is going to be trying to get his hands on the ball as much as possible. Try and steer that team around. Everything I think will flow through him.
All right.
Oh, I think last week they needed to win that game to even have a sniff at getting in the finals now. They're 2 wins pretty much with for and against outside the 8 behind the Roosters. And the Raiders have got a much better run home, I think, and playing better football too, maybe even so. I think the early season's done, personally.
Yep. All right.
Well, Manly do have Eels, Titans, Sharks, Raiders, Dogs for the way home. So I reckon they could pick up, probably 3 wins there. I don't know how they go against Eels or Sharks. I think they could do Raiders. But yeah, I think Raiders do have a better run home.
Yeah. All right, should we do questions? You got any live ones over there, Louis? I'll start on these while you have a look. Watto, Jared Watson of the Supercoach Discord.
Big Watto.
Watto, also the draft. He does the draft one too. No, it's not a hub. It's a draft. I'll get that next time. Hey, Legends, the question that's on everyone's minds: best Cleary replacement. I think we touched on that. So yeah, we've just finished on that one. What that was all for you, bro.
Preemptive strike there.
Yeah, look at us go. Gary Barnes, thinking of Dewey for the captain against the Knights, and do I play Coro Edwards over Tass and Targo? Which I like Dewey captain against the Knights.
I've already got Dewey captain against the Knights. I love that.
Yeah, that's very good. And does he play Coruscant and Edwards over Tass and Targo?
I'd play Appy Tass.
Appy Tass.
Yeah, I'd leave out Tango and Edwards.
Yep. Righto, what if he can't? Well, he can do anything he wants. Let's face it. Right, should I go Cleary to A-rate or am I a week too late? That's a good question, guys. I really rate that because A-Ray didn't come up in none of that discussion just then. And
Doris Mann did bring up A-Ray actually.
Oh, Roscoe!
I did forget to mention that. A-Ray is at 567. run home, he's got Roosters, Knights, Storm, Eels, Dragons. 5-round average of 82 with a current average of 62 with a current average of 65.7.
I like where that's at. I like A-Ray. He's gone good this year. And yeah, if you've got the trades to do it, Brian, I think it's a good move, man. What about yous?
I think it's a good move. Yeah, as we've seen pretty much the whole, not the whole season, but a lot of the attack goes through him.
Yeah.
You know, he's crossfield kicks to Coates and
Oates.
Sorry?
Oates.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, a lot of the attack goes through Adam Reynolds, and you see that in the scores reflected with Ezra Mam as well. Whenever Adam Reynolds is on the field.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, so I don't mind that either, Brian.
Yeah, well, the only couple of quiet games there was when he hurt his ribs.
Yeah.
And he wasn't fully committed, but apart from that, he's been pretty strong all year, so...
He's flown under the radar hard. That could be even a good one for you, Juzzy.
What's that?
A-Ray.
I was looking at it.
And he's got a break even of 31 as well.
Kicks,
so,
goals.
Again, this is the week to jump on.
Selwyn Cobbo's back this week. He's another one he doesn't mind kicking for. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. Michael Mizzy. Okay, first question. Who is the best pod halfback under 500k?
Under 500k.
For me, it'd be Tommy Dearden, if he's still under there. Just because Brad gave him a rap 2 weeks ago and he hasn't gone. He's gone 70-70. So I like Tommy Dearden in that discussion.
Makes a cut.
Who else we got in the cut? Scrolling. So yeah, there it is. Tommy Dearden. Step right up. You're the only guy worth under 500. And then Michael Mizzy again. The Storm don't seem to be themselves. Do you think Munster and Hughes are good pickups to replace Cleary and Kohler?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Munster does his own shit, and Hughes is good. Hughes is still solid. Gets solid points every week.
I still have faith in the Storm, but so I could be flogging a dead horse here. But I think the Storm will come good and their scores will reflect it.
Yep. Yeah, I'd pick up Munster and Hughes too.
And Hughes bags those tries as well.
He does.
You know,
He's
he
a
does
good
get the
runner.
Sneaky try.
He's a good runner of the footy. All right, Dale James, G'day Legends. Now we've also got this here. What's a big balls captain choices on. We're about to strike it off because Dale's asked the question. G'day Legend. Who's the captain this week? I'm thinking Munster or Tyrell. Who are you going captains this week?
Right, we going big balls or we just going captains?
You go whoever you want. He's thinking Munster or Tyrell.
Dave Fafita or Adam Dewey?
Yeah, don't mind it.
I'm going Nico.
Nico.
I reckon Nico is going to go big this week.
Nico.
Got a gut feeling about it.
Really?
I feel like he's been kind of building. I feel like this week he might actually snag a few try assists.
Bro, for me, I'm tossing up between Val and Teddy. Again, I know it's cliche, the old fullback thing, but I've got Val in my fullbacks, and he's playing the Dogs now. The Dogs beat them first game of the year, so I expect them to go out pump me 4 doggies. So yeah, I expect a big number from Val Holmes too. But then again, Teddy is starting to hit his straps, and 72 is not a bad week.
If I had Trell against the Warriors, I'd definitely be strongly looking at that. But Dewey against us Knights is... I'd probably just lean towards Trell against the Warriors. Because the Warriors have been pretty bad too.
You know who else has been looking okay with ball movement and been pretty close to a couple of tries the last couple of weeks? Taumalolo. He could be a sneaky little get on against the Dogs as well.
Munster also against the Titans.
Yeah, Munster was thrown up by Dale. So, yeah, all right. Grant Bradley. Hey, guys. Who do you think has not lived up to the hype this year? Or frustrating players to have Supercoach-wise on total base points? To start it off, I think Brian Toto, Harry Grant. Who else do you think? I'll go first here because I've got one in my side still now. Angus Crichton. He's really... And Dave Fafita.
Well, I traded Crichton too for Feeder.
So you've just gone from strength to strength there.
Yeah. That was a great move.
Yeah, well, I've potted on and I thought I'm bringing him straight back in, and I never let go of Angus Crichton. I hung on through the hard times, played him too, and yeah, so they're probably the two, especially because Angus Crichton normally such a base stat heavy dude. Like, he was sort of a walk-up start to my team, but the way they were playing football was a different style to last year, and it just, it was different.
And I think Talakai, not so much at the beginning of the season, because the beginning of the season was when he got his big scores, but the second half of the season, Talakai has dropped off. They are approaching a good run at the moment, but yeah, he has dropped off the few couple of weeks. Put out a 59 last round. Yeah, he scored a couple of 30s, a couple of 40s. Hasn't quite since round 7 against Manly. His highest score has been 79 against New Zealand, and then 65 against Roosters, and the rest he scored 40s and 50s, and the 230s.
Yeah, I got another one in Katoni Staggs. He done me a few times this year. Because I was on the verge of selling him, and then he'd get mad score. Think all you got to do that's twice a game, Tony, and he doesn't. Another one.
I got Cody Walker.
Yeah.
One. Yes, showed glimpses here and there, but average of 50, under 56 for the year.
Yeah.
Is highly disappointing for Cody. Both the Roosters halves, Keary and Walker, both averaging under 60 this year. I thought both of them are going to have much better years than this, especially Keary. Again, Walker showed a few glimpses here and there, but nothing of consistency at all. And the other one is Xavier Coates. I know he's been injured for a lot, but expect big things going down to Melbourne on that wing, taking over Fox's spot, and a couple of good games, but all in all...
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, there's even more. I just can't remember them. There's been a heap through the year, actually. In saying that, we're still also living off last year's scores in our heads as well, where everyone's average was a bit higher. The game come back down to earth a little bit this year, if you remember correctly last year.
Yeah, but I'm only judging them off a 60 average. Like, I'm not asking for 147 like Turbo.
Yeah. But there was still a few guys I started the year with that I probably should have.
Another one was Momorowski. I had high hopes for going back to the Roosters. I thought he might score some good points out there in that team, but Roosters as a whole been pretty disappointing until as of late, really.
Yeah. Tyrell Sloan's another one too. Like
Amone,
yeah. Well, that Sloan, he played well in the Indigenous game. He showed good glimpses last year. He started the year this year he was awkwardly priced at 400 and something thousand, and yeah, he crewed a lot of people as well. So yeah, tough year, Supercoach, and good on those who missed all those. They're the ones that it showed, and kudos to you. Now that's questions. And yeah, any liveys?
Let's have a look. Michael Dakai. Apologies for pronouncing your name wrong there. Good evening, lads. With the Panthers missing their halves and Para missing Moses, does trading in Latrell for the run home become a viable option? Cheers, boys.
His efforts picked up. Like, I've rubbished him in the past on efforts, so this year his efforts have picked up a lot, and I think he's got a tough run, but it's also all going to go through him too.
Yeah, but like he said, Eels losing Moses, and now the Panthers also losing Nathan and Jerome. They're the next two after the Warriors.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
I mean, as you saw against Sharks, he had a pretty quiet game, and he still scored a 52. So it's not like he's not injecting himself at all.
See, this might be me. I might move on Nath this week and shuffle some stuff around and get the Trell.
Well, it's definitely now a consideration.
Brad Smith wants to know, will Logic Fusi be the first one sin bin this week?
Oh. Matt Lodge loves it.
He does.
He does.
Sean O'Varett. Sean, I've got the same problem as you, mate. Hold the last trade, or trade to Hines, Holmes, or Nanai in now to stay strong in heads-to-heads.
Oh, if I remember correctly, Sean only had 2 trades last week. He was sitting pretty, didn't need to use them. But anyway.
If you're bottom 4 and you really need it, go for it.
No, he's up top.
If you got a week off,
Maybe the money change might be a factor, but if Val's set to go up some money, it might cruel him.
fair call. Pull the trigger then.
Yeah, it's the week. Yeah, you don't want to lose him unless you get another bite at the cherry. You might be able to find a replacement, like you said. Mulatalo's juicing up next week, so you might be able to save a bit of money on and go. I know it's your last trade, but
That's it from me.
yeah, well, that's it from us as a unit. We should just say good luck, Supercoaches. Thanks to Brado and Rossio for your write-ups, Louis for your time. Juzzy, what are you deep in over here, bro? Nothing? A Pornhub? No. Cheers, coaches. See you next
Cheers, peeps.
week. Good luck.
Good luck in all finals.
Where are we staying?